Hello there, boys and girls. This is Old Man Yells at Cloud for Blue Powder Monkey's Patreon, here to do some Blender stuff. As always, if you find something useful that I'm doing and you think it's cool, grab the time code, throw it in the comment section, because I don't have right now, unfortunately, the time, because I'll stream for like an hour or two or whatever. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to go back through and call out like specific things that I've been doing, because a lot of times I'll cover, they aren't just like a minute tutorial or whatever. You're just watching me work. You're just watching my workflow for good or ill. If you see any ads, that's on YouTube. I have them all turned off as far as I know. And definitely go check out our Patreon, because it's like $3 and you get access to a whole bunch of cool shit. Anyway, so when I was working last time, let me do a thing here. Here we go. When I was working last time, it was last night. It was pretty late, and I wasn't thinking super clearly. And I basically had this little. This is the room that Cecilia takes place in. We're going to build it, and I'd set up all these walls, basically by using the inset action, which is selecting onto a. It took me forever because I was so tired to even remember how to like do this shit correctly. So what's going on now? Oh yeah, got them all selected. So for example, you just grab your thing and you click over and you click on the face, which I don't know why the face isn't lighting up. We're going to go through this again, aren't we? Let's do this. Oh, there we go. Okay. You light up the face, you hit your eye. That enables you to do like an inset thing. You click on the doodad and you can set the thickness of the border around the outside. And in order to get that perfectly even border that everybody wants, you have to just make sure your scale stuff is set correctly, which I always forget to do. But that stuff is over here. And you'll notice now that all of this stuff is at -1 foot Z, meaning below the surface. And you're like, oh, what's that about? Well, the thing is there's obviously like a bunch of other easier ways to do, because I was going to go through here today. You know, last night I was like, tomorrow I'll go through here and I'll clean up all these lines and then create these 4-inch thick walls that I want. And ultimately, it doesn't matter how, like, I'm not making an architectural fucking treatise, so it's not like this stuff needs to be accurate. I just kind of like to have it accurate, because sometimes you come across surprising little interesting things when you're setting up your shot to do stuff. I do tend to try to light cinematically, because it's lighting cinematically, but anyway, for whatever reason, I want 4-inch thick walls, which is probably thicker than even normal walls are supposed to be, but that's what I want. So as you can kind of tell, spoiler alert, there's another house parts thing in here. So what I figured out today, when I was awake, is that there's an easier way to do that. And the easier way to do that is to create your plane and then loop cut it, obviously. So there we go. All right. So when you throw your loop cuts in, you do have to do some measuring. So if I was to do this from scratch, and my room was 23 feet wide, then I'd throw my loop cut in the middle and it would be 11 feet, 8 inches, -4 basically. And that would precisely put the loop cut like right here. And then I have to figure out kind of how wide my rooms are and stuff. What I did this time is I was able to kind of cheat it, and turned out not to be a horrible thing, I guess, but I have the, let's do this. I have the original, that's why I dropped it a foot underneath, and then I just set my snapping to the outer walls that I wanted to do. So anyway, with that, I'm going to delete this old version. It's getting really ominous in here. I'm listening to the soundtrack for The Thing again, which I did last night as well. And the boom, like it's building. just getting scary. All right. So now I have this basic plane, and what I want to do is start building walls and rooms within this. And what I'm going to do just for ease is I'm going to get rid of some of these lines that don't matter. And I don't have to do this. This is pure busy work in a way. But it makes it kind of less confusing for me. Because all of this, for example, is open space. I'll just dissolve those edges away. Oh, interesting. The music just went dead too. What's that about? Still playing. Oh, now it's back. Oh, it's probably a streaming thing. I'm probably using up all my resources. All right. So, interestingly, I don't need this one, but I kind of do need this one. Let's grab... Actually, let's grab the vertexes. Oh, I can just do that. What is going on here? Oh, I just flipped the normals on this bad boy, didn't I? So let's do this. I should have just done the same thing. Yeah, we can just do this. There we go. Okay, and now I can come back into here. Delete these guys. Like working clean. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you how to do this, is basically I'll I'll get rid of some of these walls, even though I really don't need to, and then I'll build some of these walls, and then I'm going to separate the walls from the ceiling to make them their own objects. And I'm going to do that for no other real reason than being able to remove a wall to put a freaking camera in there. And it's just one of the, oh, I didn't do the outer walls here. I guess I'll do that now. All right, so loop cut. Oops, let's go back to here. It shouldn't matter. What's going on? Face. Shouldn't matter. None of this up here should matter. What should matter is loop cuts. There we go. But they're not connecting for some reason. It's one of those things when you delete some stuff, then some other weird shit happens. So I'm gonna kettle that fish later. So yeah, so I basically want to create a wall, create a floor, and then I'm going to break them all apart into different parts, so that did I originally have? We're not too far along in this process. Let's just go back to the start here. I just not do the outer ones. There we go. Should have just closed the file and opened it back up at this point. All right, so let's close this up. And object, these guys. No, they're all there. I just didn't do it. I guess I'd have to extend it out a little bit to make it truly the 4 inches that I want. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's just show this up then. All right, so top. Let's try the magical loop cut again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Come here, buddy. Oh, that's right. It doesn't go from the center anymore. It goes from here. The center does not exist. So let's see. This is put on the edge, which is 11.5 minus. That's 6 inches, so minus 11 feet 3 inches. No, 2 inches. There we go. Ooh, I'm so much used to, like, I haven't worked with a ton of other 3. Yeah, and that's fine because these ones are actually thin, so that doesn't make sense. The main issue is, like, I want things to work like whatever program I learned shit on, and I learned how to do some of this stuff with Google SketchUp. And I'm like, I bet there's probably a fucking mod or something out there that makes things work like Google SketchUp, but 11 feet 2 inches. There we go. Some of you are like, why aren't you using the house building thing? And I'm like, I talked about that in the last video. It just completely goes tits up for me for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this old stuff around for a little while to see what happens. Yeah, I couldn't get it. It kept throwing Python errors, and I'm not the guy to fucking resolve Python errors. Unless it has to do with why a Python is trying to eat me, and then I will resolve it by kicking that Python's ass. My partner's a software engineer, and I do know enough to tease her sometimes about the difference between Java and JavaScript. She'd be like, "It's back in JavaScript. It's not Java. It's Java, not JavaScript." Whatever, you know, whatever the direction is, I'm teasing her. So that's always kind of fun. All right, so let's start building some of this easy shit, because I'm not in the mood for complication right now. Alright, so I'm going to grab these walls, I'm going to extrude them. I'm going to have to figure out who I want this corner piece to belong to. I think I'll leave it independent for now. Okay, extrude. Now it should automatically be going Z, right? Yeah, okay. And then let's go 8 feet. Just standard for a wall. I'm actually going to make the interior walls closer to 12 feet. But there we go. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Oops. Must automatically done it with something else. Are those not closed? Oh, they're fucking open. Ugh. Are these open? No. Those are. Right, I can like see up through them and shit. Yep. Okay. Never understand this shit. This is a relatively easy fix. Face, right? F, yep. Okay, cool. And then we're going to do that. Click on that. Do these sides. Dunk, dunk. Okay, and now we are going to separate by selection. Yoink. And that is going to be hallway, left wall. Bonk. Right. And it's almost quicker to just duplicate this wall and drag it over here and delete this other one, but we'll go through the whole process again. By the way, as you might be able to tell from my mousing, not the most dexterous mouse guy. I used to be. Just like a lot of you guys watching, like in your 20s and 30s when you're the fucking Call of Duty master. Although we played a lot of Battlefield and Ghost Recon. And that's when I was still playing football, so my hands worked. But all the stories you hear are true, boys and girls. As you get older, shit starts breaking. Spell that right? Yep. Ugh. All right. These walls, again, as far as the cloning thing is concerned, or the duplicating, I am going to put some wood paneling on these things. And it probably would have been okay just to like completely build it out, and then duplicate it and flip it over and then add items to it. Because these two walls actually are going to be pretty much symmetrical through the whole thing. These other walls, different things are happening to them. So that's a little bit different. But these hallway walls, it might be that I end up deleting this one anyway and coming back to do something different. For example, this wall here is going to have a chair rail on it and a kind of a pokey out half retaining wall, which I think I'll make lined up with that just to do that kind of thing. So let's do, yeah, let's do another loop cut. Come on, buddy. And that's going to be, in theory, about a foot. Do it to about here. Okay. Over here. Oh, nope, I don't want that. Actually, let's do that this time. And let's leave that because I'd rather have more of this wall disappear. And we're going to grab that and that. All right, then we're going to extrude 12 feet this time. Big ass wall. Cool. Okay. And once again, wonder, I guess it's part of the extrude process. It does that. Like I sure would like that to not be the case. I mean, I don't need to fill them, I guess, either, but I kind of feel like I do. It's going to mess up all my... Oh yeah, I can see that one's not there either. Alright, so let's do that. And then probably just do this, right? It's going to not cause weird things to happen, right? One thing I like about Blender is when you fuck up and you don't know it, you don't know that you fucked up. Like 4 days later, something will break, like irrevocably break, and it's because of something you did like on Tuesday or some shit, and you have no idea, and you're just fucked. Or you'll go down, start going down a rabbit hole and trying to start undoing shit, and yeah. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this program. Yeah, I like Blender overall. Yeah, see, that doesn't even do anything or make sense. I like Blender overall. I think that there has yet to be, well, so credit where credit is due. Like, it's a free piece of software, right? You're not going to bitch about a piece of software, although here I am bitching about it. You're not going to bitch about a piece of software that gives you so much shit for free. At least you better not. But there's still like, I don't know. I still haven't found like the perfect piece of software for being creative. I think I got everything there. But I mean, maybe nobody has. Maybe it's always the fuck right wall. Maybe you always have to work in a bunch of different things, unless you like, I mean, I was drawing comics and shit when I was in my 20s, and I did that for a while, and I was okay at it. Like, I was better than a lot of, better than the average person at the time. I'm probably not even better than the just most rudimentary average person nowadays. It's like so many kids are like super talented at fucking comic stuff. And so if you're talented enough to just draw on paper, then that's awesome, because you don't have to worry about any of this. Or with me, it's like, well, I gotta figure out how to do this in a piece of 3D software, because my drawing skills have eroded. My coordination has eroded to the point where it's just like, well, can't get anything done here. Always label your layers, boys and girls. Always take the time. Yeah, see, there's some weird shit happening there, but it doesn't matter, right? What's my intention? And my intention, did I just label this wall left like a dum-dum? All right, my intention is just to be able to do that. And you're not going to see this edge or any of this other shit. It's basically just to create a kind of a flyaway wall, which is a wall you can make disappear, so I can put a camera like right here looking in here or whatever. Okay. All right, so now we're kind of getting to the complicated bits. Let's see, this is going to be a bookshelf. So I'm going to need that. I need this. Let's do the bookshelf first. Yeah. And this may seem like a dumb amount of work, but maybe not. Let's call it closet. But the entire, pretty much the entire graphic novel is taking place in this room. So, like, the better I can build it, the better it is. So I wanted to kind of hint at a bathroom or something back here, but I don't think, just in case for now, let's go ahead and do it. I can always come back in and adjust it later. I build it off of the closet book. Let's try it. Oh, I have a random fucking floor tile there too for some reason. It's weird how you don't notice. You're like so focused on the thing. Yeah, that's cool. Where's this bathroom one? Doesn't matter. There we go. Okay. All right, so this, and this. I don't know what's going to go on the ceiling there. I'm going to find out. What am I doing here? Is it like messing my... I don't know. Floor's gonna be a mess. Alcove, right? Cool. Yeah, I'm probably just going to redo the floor. Oh, nice. That's why I kept saying weird floor things. Okay, and then... like this will turn into a doorway of some type. Should this be like that? Yeah, let's do that. And this will probably come in a little bit, but for now it can be doing what it's doing. that's that other doodad there. So it's just that. What is that? I probably won't even propagate this room, this area, depending on what I put in here. Okay, so now this fucking thing. So this is going to be a wall with a bunch of windows in it, which will probably just be little squares because I don't want to get super complicated. It'd be nice if it had little archy doodads over it, but I wonder if it's time to figure out the ceiling logistics. Or is it time to build doorways, perhaps? Okay, so let's grab this wall. There we go. That's 11 and 3 something or other. Oh no. That's fucking 0, as it should be. Okay, so let's make this, let's see here. Whoa, hello blend kit. Ah, stupid typing fingers. All right. 32, 30, yeah, I get that part of it. What is height-wise? 80, 79 and a quarter to 80. It's like, fucking doing here? Just set a standard. Let's go 80 inches. It's 12 feet. So that doesn't matter, right? No, it doesn't. I don't need the second one. What I'm doing there. What I can do is grab this, extrude this way to there. Yep. Okay. And I'll have to have these sidewalls come in a little bit. If I want, I'll have to figure out how the door jamb works later. That doesn't matter. Okay, so I kind of want. I do want a ceiling here. So let's build that. Sometimes I'll just extrude things out of things. But I guess let's just do the plain thing. Let's go like 2 by 2 for now. Grab Z. Grab Nazi. Extrude X. Actually can still type relatively quickly when I've warmed up. But before I've warmed up, not great. This doesn't matter. Let's keep it consistent. Whoa. There we go. Kind of looks like a little alcove disappearing into somewhere, which is kind of cool. A little mysterious space back there. All right, let's see here. Hall, let's see the... Okay, let's deselect off all of that. Oop. I don't know what the difference between layout and modeling is. Who's to say? Grab shift, whatever axis you don't want it to move on, and that's how you get things to move around. So I basically align it on the Z axis first, and then I just yank it over using the shift, grab shift Z, and now it won't go on the Z axis, it'll only go on the X and the Y axis. All right, and now I'm going to grab on the Y. There we go. Do this. Extrude on the X to here. Extrude on the Y to here. Grab all that. Extrude on the Z to here. Select all. I guess I don't need to do the separate thing because it's its own thing. Yeah, doesn't matter. It just is its own doodad. All right, cool. Roofs are the thing that's going to come off and on the most, so that I can see down into the thing. So I think they're going to get their own little doodad here. What the fuck is this? This wall had a name. Did I like default on the name? I thought that was the right-hand wall. Hallway right wall. Oh, I must have when I was doing one of my undoing doodads, I must have undid it. All right, so now we're getting the basic semblance of a thing. All right, and I'm going to now go look. Let's see. I'll go look and see how I did it on the other one. It's going to take a million years to open. Hopefully not. But only because I'm doing OBS stuff. So, as you can see, this is going to turn into a pretty complicated thing. Here we go. These curtains especially are pretty dope. Let's see. There's my wall. I'm going to get rid of my curtains. That's the bookshelf wall. Okay, so I created a wall, and then it looks like I probably cut a big old section out of it. And then I did an array for the rest of this stuff. So let's see if I opened up 2 instances of Blender. Nope. Cool. All right, so I can extend it right out of here. And then make it its own thing. So that'll save me a little bit of grief. Good. I should have done it on the... I should have just made a plane first and done all the loop cutting there. Let's get in that practice. Let's get in that habit. There we go. Okay, so basically just take this edge. Let's see how this is going to make a difference, honestly. I like doing a little experiment every once in a while. I guess it just makes a singular loop cut thingy. That's weird. Can never get it to do the number of cuts thing that it does or whatever. Is there a 0 in there is what's happening? Okay. So let's go 8 inches. Let's go minus 8 inches. Let's go minus. Goes to 11. Goes to 11. Okay. Let's go minus 10. 33. And then let's go 1033. Bum, 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 bum. Minus 8 inches. So that one's offset as well from the actual middle. Oh, I could do that, actually. Right. Yeah, let's do that. I haven't really ever, I do grid a lot for graphic design stuff, but not so much for this type of stuff. I think these windows are uneven, but it's not going to matter too much. About 4 feet. I think the 4 feet's a little high. Let's go like 32. The Road for Perdition soundtrack just started, which is a lot different than the soundtrack for the thing. So it's like, oh, okay, this is what's going on now. Oh, interesting. All right, a little mesh cleanup there. Never hurt any butter. Okay. if I can do math functions. Plus each. Sort of. That was weird. Huh. Let's just do that. Is it too thick? Yeah, it's too thick. Perfect. Cheryl. I think that shelf is too thick by a lot. We're going to leave it in there. Where's this damn light everyone keeps talking about? Oh, yep. I don't know how to go around that. I don't think this outside stuff's going to matter too much. I say tediously filling in every vertices. Now, the good news is I don't have to. That has a face. Cool. That has a face. Face, 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 face. Cool. Okay. All right. This is. Once again, I must have went back too far at one point. Just keep going away. Oh, because of the snap? So there's like 12 loop cuts on the edge of that window now. That's pretty funny. All right, cool. Oh, I know something I'm going to have to do in a second before I forget. Okay. All right, I'm going to go around for a second and do a thing that I should have done and I've been getting behind on, and now I'm being dumb. And that is zeroing out all these fucking scales. Oh, maybe I did do them. I feel like I didn't do any of these. And yet they are all zeroed out. Huh. Well, that's cool. Except for that guy. Hey, little buddy. These are going to be railings for the window, basically. So, stuff that light can shine through. And I kind of want to, instead of just being completely square, maybe mix them up a little bit, depending on how hard that is. So the first thing we're going to try is just a base bevel. Could round them, I guess, a little bit. Let's see what the... Ooh. Wow, that just goes from 0 to 60 right off the bat. Between 8 and 16, so 10. I said 10. You kind of like it. The old way, this way. I think a strict diamond shape would be interesting. So having them outside isn't going to do anything for me because we're not going to be able to see them. And having them inside, we're not going to be able to see them because there's going to be a curtain over it. Having them sideways isn't going to do anything. So there's not really any reason to give them any kind of fancifulness shape-wise. I just realized. Let's do this though. Let's do another. Sometimes I just like experimenting for the sake of it, right? It's just fun sometimes. So let's do that. Okay. Oh my god. Misclick. Just yawning. Die, edges, die. Why did I have to do you individually like that? Yeah, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just... You know what? Off you go. Oh. Do it again. Yep. Okay, nothing is selected right now. That's selected. That's it. There we go. I don't know that that's going to be detail that's going to be being seen, honestly. This might be too much. I think we're just going to go with the old square. But you do need to experiment with stuff like that. It doesn't cost you anything but time. And time is what you have an infinite amount of. If you're not, basically if you're planning a movie out, your pre-production is where you can do whatever you want. Not loving those now either. I have to do me some research on some Windows stuff. think I'll just set this aside for now. All right. Okay, so that's the basic structure of things. That's enough for a while. I don't think you're supposed to necessarily put material on things initially, because it uses up a lot of resources for your render, but I might do that because it's kind of important to me how the walls and stuff look. Let's go through and do a little cleanup here. What is this cube? The hallway roof, okay. The laundry roof, okay. We have nothing. Okay, that was not what I wanted. Some random empty cube. Okay. Off you go. Interesting. That might be part of the hallway. first we separate selection, switch back over to object mode, grab that, grab that. Cool. Make that one. Make it part of this back corner. Be an alcove, bathroom. It's not there. It's not there. Is it the laundry room? Well, yeah. All right. Whole bunch of weird little, like this kind of stuff. Care about that? I think I do. floor's all done. All right, we're going to get into materials next, but that's going to take a second. Try it once. All right, I am on, what am I on? Ambient CG, it looks like. I'm going to grab me some fucking wood flooring here. Now, this is all set design stuff. So, if you're thinking about it in terms of film or filmmaking, you're going to, in a perfect world, of course, hire a set designer, but you're not going to be able to do that because you're young and poor and you're just trying to make some shit. So you're going to have to do the set design yourself or get a buddy. And that requires thinking about that as hard as your whatever the most passionate thing that you're excited about of this movie, you kind of go equal to all the other things. And you can't, like, I don't want to lie to you. You're not going to be able to apply 100% passion 100% of your movie. But some of the stuff that you may not think is as important, you really want to try to put some fucking thought into it. At least do the research. Alright, so I don't know whether this is going to end up... Foundry assets, projects. I kind of want to have a separate folder here. Do I have a Blender asset folder already? I do have a Blender asset folder. Fuck. Way too much stuff in it. Material JPEGs. Okay, so let's do that. Let's reduce this down a little bit. We're going to just try this one here and then call it good. I don't know, it's not like you haven't seen already anything here. We're going to go super fucking high. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. I'd rather have the super high one and dumb it down, although it's going to cause all kinds of issues maybe. We'll see. From the unzip files. So this is this rare case where I have to cancel. Oh, they're still downloading. That makes perfect sense. There's ways to augment them with bump maps and such. Let's do some other stuff while we're waiting on that, though. All right, we're going to go cycles. We're going to go GPU compute. This is all okay, except you really don't need this many cycles, or this many freaking samples. Raise threshold. I'm going to change some of this stuff later because I have some not presets exactly, but ways that I want to do things. That light is? It's way up here. There's a change in me. From now on, a change in me. Talking my dream. At least gonna be the same. Rosy, old and gray. Changes today. Some changes made. not a material node expert by any means. There's a few little tricks that I know, one of which is this little value doodad. So you shift A to get your search, type in the word value, and then you get this little thing. Let's just go through it. There we go. Okay, so value basically helps you, or it doesn't help you, it does, make all constant. The XYZ things in that behave the same. So instead of going through and having to slide the X slider, slide the Y slider, slide the whatever slider, just grab this little hodad right here, plug it into there, and then just like a 1, and it's going to be whatever it is. It's going to make them all that same value. And then you kind of adjust. And I'm not going to adjust this too much right now because scale-wise, I have to light is a little too fucking bright. Because I have to figure out what... once you get more materials in the room, once you get more objects in the room, you have to figure out kind of the scale of what looks right. So that's a lot of it. I also have a tutorial I'm going to rewatch, and I'll go through that, which has to do with adding displacement maps, I think, potentially some kind of bump map stuff to add texture, 3-dimensional texture. This is a 2-dimensional texture right now. It's just a JPEG basically, but you can add texture, and then when you render stuff out, then in theory it looks cooler when you light it correctly and all the rest of that. You can see like the little notches in the wood and shit. Plus, to be honest, I mean, I like this one so far, but I might want to try 2 or 3 other ones to kind of see. I want an older, weathered look, like this house is supposed to be super old. Well, this doesn't look promising. Oh, I don't have the fucking cameras pointed at nonsense. Yeah, that's on me. It's going to crash now. Here we go. Hopefully it doesn't crash. And if it does, hopefully my autosave is all autosaved. I always forget that render isn't just like, what am I looking at right now? It also might be that my computer powers down for a second because my power plant is very slightly not as strong as it needs to be. So if it ever just completely cuts out, that's what's happened. Okay, so we can do this, and then we can go 0. Yeah, there we go. Did I save? I did not. Forgot again. So yeah, it's all those pieces, man. They have to come together. So it's like you want to put the material in there and have the material in there when you're putting all your other objects in there, sort of, but then it's taking up, a whole bunch of space to work with the file and all that. So do you wait? Do you put in low res ones and like swap them out? Like, I don't know. it just looks like a really nice photograph of a wood floor at this point, which it probably is. Just literally that. So yeah, it's. I think I'll end up building a lot of stuff. That's going to do 4 of them. Cool. It may be too that I probably be better off at this point just going back one of the older files and like augmenting it with the changes that I want to make. But I keep learning new things every time I go through the process. Huh. So much for this not taking very long. First time with the new thing always takes. Anyway, I kind of don't want to leave you hanging for anybody sort of sticking around to wait for this thing to resolve itself. So, yeah, I'll start putting furnishings in next. A lot of stuff will come off of Blend Kit, probably, although I built some... I built some bookshelves. And there's and I'll more than likely sort of just plug some of the stuff in offline, and then potentially kind of show like here's how you can swap out a material for one of your own if you find like there's so many material tutorials online to do really cool different kinds of materials. So you can get the idea. Like it's going to look like a wood floor or whatever. It's not interesting. There's nothing on it. It's not lit very well. So scale-wise, I don't know what the scale is yet. Let's put the walls back up and see if that does anything exciting. It's actually scale-wise not bad. I know there's ways to make less. Noise. Okay, objects. That's all good. Okay. Yeah, that's honestly not bad for the scale it should be in. I'm missing a wall back there. Oh. Cool. I have to figure out the walls themselves too. They may be sheetrock type thing, but there was a stone pattern that I found that I really liked. And like I want these hallways dark, so they may end up being something entirely different. But the cool part is, I think I'm going to go material shopping now, and boogie on with the rest of my day. And so I appreciate all you guys hanging out and watching this. Again, I may not get to it this weekend, but next week, hopefully I'll be working on it every day. And again, there might be some stuff I do offline, so you don't have to watch me put in 50 bookshelves, you know, unless you just have it tuned into the background and literally want to see every step, and then good for you. That's fine. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. Feel free to leave any sort of time codes in the comments if I accidentally said something cool. If I accidentally, you know, or if I did a thing that was like, oh, that's actually sort of useful as opposed to just watching this guy, you know, just fucking doing his thing or whatever. You know, I did a thing. Time code that shit. Put it down in the comments. So when people come to it, they can be like, oh, if I want to just get the tutorial aspects of it out of it, I can do that. or you know, I could potentially, again, if I'm bored, just watch this guy like doing his thing. So anyway, thanks everybody.